So this morning when I woke up, Prime Creator was actually kind of prepping me a little bit. So the energies might be, I don't know. As always, when I channel, I invite you to take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. It does feel like there are big changes afoot. So we're going to see what Prime Creator has to say about it all. Dear ones, before we speak of March, we will talk a bit about what is happening on your planet and some things that are happening behind the scenes. As we have spoken before, planet Earth is going through her ascension process. There is much transition that is occurring on all levels. And when I say on all levels, I'm speaking of in the physical and as well as in the multidimensional reality that planet Earth is experiencing as well. We have spoken of the multidimensional beingness of the human, and Earth has the same construct in the sense that she is also a multidimensional being. And so whatever she goes through and experiences, it is happening not just in the physical, but in the multidimensional realms. So with this as an overall perspective, I will say that way more is occurring multidimensionally than has landed physically for planet Earth regarding her ascension and regarding the transition that she is going through. And this translates to the transition that humanity is going through as well, because it is all connected and it is a collaborative effort. Planet Earth is going through a clearing process, clearing all that no longer serves, clearing old energies, old paradigms, old matrices. And with this clearing, of course, comes the dissolving of some of the matrices and the dissolving of many of the systems, the outdated systems, including your banking systems, financial systems, government systems, things of this nature. Now, what the nefarious ones or the shadow forces are attempting in this transition is to maintain control over anything that they can. In many ways, they have had some control on your planet for thousands of years. In certain ways, they have had control. And now that this time is coming to an end for them, and they know it fully, but they are still trying to maintain some semblance of control. And so what they will attempt to do is perpetuate fear, perpetuate the fear pattern, perpetuate the fear frequency. And one of the tools that they use is a frequency generator or a mirror of sorts. I will do my best to explain through this channel. Once the codes of fear are put out into the collective, they take these codes and attempt to replicate them over and over within the collective energy field. And they use your media or your programs as part of their frequency replicator technology. And they use the mRNA technology, where they are putting it into some of the shots and into the spraying of the skies, attempting to get it into the food supply, water supply, etc., so that the frequency of fear is generated over and over, and using humans to generate this fear as well, because once these technologies are accepted and received by humans, then humans themselves will be fear generators. In some cases, of course, it depends on the frequency of the human receiving the technology. Some humans will transcend it, and some will become replicators themselves, along with the AI technology that they are using. And so, in this way, even though the nefarious ones understand that their time of power is coming to an end, they have attempted to implant it into humans so that it runs on its own without them, and that they can, at some point in time, they wish to circle back to using this technology again, thousands of years in the future. And so what humans must do in order for this not to occur is to transcend all of this. And this is, of course, the ascension path that humanity is on. Humans have the choice about what will happen on planet Earth to a large degree. Yes, planet Earth has her own trajectory, and that will hold. She will hold her path regardless of what humans choose. But in the here and now, meaning in the next 5 to 10 years, humans have a large degree of power over what they see unfolding on planet Earth. And so it is very important for humans to stay on their path and for humans to choose the light. Now, this is happening more and more as more souls are awakening within the human spirit, as more humans are coming to their human awakening. And so there are no worries, there is no fear, dear ones, that all is in perfect divine order. And remember that messiness and chaos is sometimes part of order. Even though it does not seem or feel orderly, chaos is part of the pattern of creation at certain stages of creation. So I share all of this to set the stage, to give an overall perspective of what is occurring, so that when we talk about difficult things, you have an understanding that all is in divine order, and that the nefarious ones are coming to an end of their reign of power. With all of this said, March will be a combination of dissolving matrices and strong creation energies. There continues to be deep support for those who are creating in the light, but it may not feel like it because so much is dissolving. And please understand, dear ones, that as these matrix systems are dissolving, that within you, they must also dissolve. The energies, the frequencies that you contributed to holding these matrices together must also dissolve within you. So you may experience feelings of being unsettled. You may experience grief or loss, of letting go of old things. You may experience resurgence of PTSD from any traumas that you have been through, especially if these traumas are tied to matrix systems, which most of them are. And so I invite you, dear ones, do not despair if you are experiencing any of these things. This is a normal and natural part of the process of releasing the old and transitioning out of what no longer serves the collective ascension and your personal ascension. I understand, dear ones, that it does not feel comfortable, but it is part of the process. And so do your best in the moments when you are feeling these things, if you are feeling these things, to rise above and to transcend and to not get hooked in to the feeling, to understand that you are releasing. And if you allow yourself to wallow in the feeling or perpetuate it with your thoughts, that you are simply re-engaging with an energy that is truly no longer relevant. And so this is going to take great discipline and mastery on your part, and great vigilance and diligence in being aware of what is occurring. And so the energies of March are going to be supportive of this process of releasing what no longer serves from within your body, from within your own cellular matrix, and simultaneously supporting what you are creating in the light. You can do both simultaneously, dear ones. It has been said that you cannot be in fear and create at the same time, unless you are creating something fearful. And what I would like to outline for you, dear ones, is that if you are feeling any of these things I have mentioned, and you are able to understand and release the old, you can create at the same time the new in the light. I hope you can understand this, dear ones, because this is an important concept as you go through these transitional times. There will be a lot of destruction, dissolving, falling apart of old systems. And it may feel traumatic, it may feel triggering, it may feel discombobulating or confusing. But if you understand what is occurring, you can harness the power of your souls and create the new, even while all of this is occurring. And it does require the ability to understand polarity and to hold and even transcend the polarity within yourself.
Thank you, Prime Creator. I wondered if you could talk more about the mRNA going into the water and the food and what we can do to make sure that we avoid this. Thank you.
This is at the stage where they are still attempting these technologies, because what is required with the mRNA is a way to preserve it. And they have not yet figured out how to allow it to last through the amount of time it would take to get from spraying it in the skies, for example, to have it land in the soil, to have it grow in the food. Or if they put it in the water, to have it maintain its integrity from where they put it in the water until the time it comes through your tap. And so they are trying different things to see if they can use pieces or parts of the technology to insert it. But this is not yet something that they have achieved. what is important for humans to understand is that you are equipped through your immune system to deal with anything foreign that comes into your body. And so it is imperative that you nurture and nourish your immune system so that it is fully functioning if a foreign intruder comes into your body. And so do not worry, dear ones, about what they are attempting to do. I shared the information simply as an explanation of what is going on and what they are trying to do. But the point is that you have what you need to deal with whatever life brings you. And it is imperative to nurture that which is within you so that you can deal. So, whether it is your immune system or maintaining a strong emotional body so that you do not get thrown off center, or maintaining your physical strength, whatever your specific body needs, whatever your being requires, this is where you should put your focus so that you are maintaining your strength to deal with any insults or injury to the body.
Thank you, Prime Creator, so much. Can you talk a little bit about the ways that we can best boost our immune system?
Yes, dear ones, it is important to eat the food that works for your body, to find out if you have any food allergies or sensitivities or any foods that trigger inflammation, and avoid those until you can heal your gut. It is important to spend time in nature, to drink pure water, and to do your inner healing work. All of these things create a stronger human. To heal your inner child, to receive solar codes from the sun, and to find out what works for you in maintaining your strength and what methods work for you in terms of healing yourself. And when you figure these things out, your immune system will be stronger. The final thing I will say about the energies for March is that it is important that you learn how to transcend polarity energies, because there will be a lot of polarity intensifying in March and beyond March, but especially as we move into a very intense time of matrices falling apart and new alignments coming into place. You will experience at the human level a lot of polarity energy. And so it is important that you figure out what works for you to transcend this polarity, whether it is a polarity within yourself, an external polarity, a collective polarity. This will be a major theme moving forward, transcending polarity.
Yes, Creator, this information is amazing. With all that you shared thus far, is all the things that you shared with us to do with our food and our building our immune system and inner work, shadow work, all of that. Is it also building our light body?
Yes, dear one, beautiful question. Yes, all of these things that heal your immune system and boost your immune system are also in the multidimensional realms, building your light bodies, building your multidimensional integrity and strength. Remember that anything you do at the human level affects and impacts your multidimensional beingness. And so if you work to strengthen anything within your human, you are also strengthening, building, and expanding your multidimensional beingness, which includes your light bodies. I thank you for this question, dear one.
With that being said, creator, so when we, in essence, we are building our light body, and that will in itself transcend polarity, correct?
This will be part of transcending polarity, yes. It is more than just building your light body to transcend polarity. It is also a mindset, an understanding of how polarity works, and doing that work to find that inner balance within yourself, to accept yourself as human, to accept yourself for who you are, and to allow, surrender to the divine will, surrender to God, surrender to divinity and the higher perspective of all things, to trust and have faith that what is occurring is in divine alignment. And this is part of transcending the polarity as well, the idea of allowing and surrender and acceptance. Now, if you are one who is called to take a stand for something, to choose a side, so to speak, let us use human trafficking as an example. You say, Prime Creator, how can I accept human trafficking? How can I accept that that is in divine order? And so I wish to say to you, dear ones, that it is not that human trafficking is in divine order. It is that the movement, the dissolving of these old ways of being and doing things, that this is what is in divine order, and to accept that the unfolding of all things is in divine order. The acceptance is not that this is happening and to accept it and just let it be and continue on going. The acceptance is these old ways are falling apart. And if you are one who is called to take a stand for something like this, then by all means, play your role. Use your righteous fire, your righteous anger to change things. The acceptance is not about allowing nefarious acts to continue. The acceptance is allowing them to fall apart and dissolve and be released from this reality. I hope this clarifies for you, dear ones.
I'm just wondering, Prime Creator, if you could talk at all about the train derailments, the recent ones that have been going on, and if that's the kind of thing we're likely to see more of, and what does that mean? Like, what are the ramifications? Are they really as bad as are being portrayed in the media?
Yes, dear one, this is an example of the chaos that I mentioned, that there will be chaos in the unraveling of these old systems, unfortunately. And yes, it is bad. It is impacting lives in a very negative way, as people are unable to go back home, as animals have died. It is not a good scenario. And it is likely that you will see more of this type of thing as unfortunately the fear codes that I mentioned before are being perpetuated, are being carried out. And so things may happen to cause more fear in people. And it could look like train derailments or other things that are a result of a culmination of the energy signatures of fear. Now, I want you to remember, dear ones, that in all of this, the human spirit is much stronger and prevails. And so the light side of these things occurring is that people come together to help each other. Communities rally to become stronger together and to support each other. And so, even though it seems very devastating, and in fact it is in many ways, there is always that silver lining where people start to remember priorities in life and they come together to support each other, to transcend the disaster that happened within their community. And so that is also occurring as well.
Are spirit and soul the same thing or different? If they are different, how are they different?
Dear ones, there are nuances. And so I will do my best to explain through this channel. If you can imagine that soul or souls are assigned to an experience, usually a body or a form of some type. Each human has a soul. Each animal has a soul. And each human has spirit. Animals have spirit. Plants have spirit. Spirit is more of an etheric quality. And while soul is part of all that is and contains the knowledge of all that is, spirit is a part of that. So it does not contain the wholeness that a soul does, and it does not contain, meaning it moves through ether, it moves through some degree of form as well, but it moves through respiration. So humans can cultivate spirit through their breath. Plants work with spirit through their own cellular respiration. To some degree, spirit requires respiration in order to connect or move through a being. Water also has spirit, and it also has its own form of respiration. In some ways, a soul is more solid. And even though a soul does not have form other than what I have described before with the fractals and the sacred geometry of a soul. It is not necessarily an easy distinction to make, to give a human understanding of all of this, dear ones. Where I will leave it is that spirit has more of an etheric quality or nature, and it interacts with form, but it is formless. And soul has more form in the sense of sacred geometry and fractals, and it can interact with form or without form. It can interact with love and with soul can interact with life, whether it has taken a form or whether it is in between forms on the soul journey. I will offer a closing message at this time. Dear ones, this is an invitation to understand how fear works with your individual being. Everyone processes fear differently to some degree. Some of you are fairly well at transcending fear, and some of you are still understanding how to transcend fear. And so it is important to learn how fear works with you or through you, if at all, and to figure out how to transcend fear so that it does not have an effect on you. A large part of this is focus. When you feel fear or an anxiety, where do you put your focus? Do you focus on it and allow it to amplify? Or do you put your focus on gratitude or a solution or what you are creating in the light? Some people process fear through their emotional field, some through their bodies, some through all parts of their being. And so it is important for you as individuals to understand how you process it so that you build up your immunity. You build up your immune system so that fear cannot take hold within you. In this way, whenever there are imprints or templates sent out by the nefarious ones to have you go back into fear, you will have tools, strategies, and your immune system built up so that it cannot take hold within your body and being. And so understand how your mind works, understand how your emotional field works, understand how energies move through your body. Learn these things about yourselves, dear ones, so that you can transcend. I thank you, dear ones. Well, wow, that was an interesting message at the end. And I'm curious for those of you watching this a replay on YouTube, if you would put in the comments your strategies for dealing with fear and building up your immune system. I think that would be an interesting discussion and helpful for us to share in that way with each other. So thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.